Go.
Okay, so this is my presentation on mine slash kind of a general kind of performers toolkit needed for employment, but obviously more for myself. To start off, we're going to talk about kind of what my career goals are and where I kind of want to be in the next few years. Obviously, I want to act. And that's something I wanted to do kind of for a long time. It's something that I've been kind of working towards more, but then more recently, especially from doing this course and the level 3 course, I've kind of thought I might step back a little bit and be like, maybe I'll kind of have a better kind of, because originally teaching was going to be like a really kind of strong kind of backup plan for me, but I think teaching is going to be the route that I'm going to take. But I still want to do like acting alongside, wherever I can, whether it's small kind of TV projects, film projects maybe, amateur theatre obviously, which I do anyway, which I can get on to later in the presentation. So, to start off, this is my actor CV. I was going to print off some to hand out to you, but to be honest, it looks like you can just about read it on the screen, thankfully. But, so, yes, this is my actor CV. As you can see, got everything that I've kind of, all my kind of credits there. Got my film down here, and then theatre as well. Most of these are obviously, as I put GCPA there because I kind of wanted to make it look kind of more professional. But most of these are kind of in college productions, obviously besides Grammar, which is the amateur theatre company that I am in, and then also I did the Shakespeare festival in school in my final year, I think it was. So yeah, 2015. But yeah, so just talking through, obviously I've got like the standard things that you put on an actor's CV, such as you need to put like your specifications, such as your height, your weight, just kind of something that you obviously need for an employer to look at really, and what they would kind of hope to see if there's anything that they kind of want in their project, etc. But then I've also got kind of accents that I can do, and then also my role-playing age. Just kind of standard things that you would see on an actor's CV, really. Yeah, like I said, it would be cool if I could give it out to you, because I could just say to you, feel free to kind of read through it. But, so I've also got my show reel, which is, I'll show you. I think it's cringy.
That's okay.
But I'm just going to leave it like that because I'm not going to touch it. So I'm going to screw it up. Okay, so there's no sound. Is there sound? Okay, there's sound. Yeah, there's no sound. This is the silent show reel.
You can do a voiceover live for it if you want to.
Just try to remember the script. I suppose I could talk through it, really.
Yeah, talk us through what we're
So this clip here is from the short film I did last year, Bottle of Smoke, which is kind of probably one of my best projects I've done. I know it's probably really hard to see. It's quite dark shot.
That's cool.
The Cost of War is another short film that I did last year with the media students, because I became quite close with some of the media students last year, and this was a short film based around it was a war kind of military film, and I played the captain and also kind of another role. This is from my short film that we did for our first year in level 3. But yeah, so this Bottle of Smoke is kind of what I use for most of my kind of showreel stuff really, because it's kind of probably the most professional thing I've done so far, which was with the media students last year, and it also kind of got submitted to kind of film festivals and stuff. But yeah, that's just a video of me doing parkour. I just wanted to chuck that in because it fills in the gap and it shows off skills, because you might want to put that in your showreel. This is also from a mockumentary that we did in my first year. Basically, I just kind of wanted to fill in the kind of 2 minutes that you'd have for a showreel, because that's usually kind of the amount of time you'd have for an actor's showreel in the kind of professional industry. Obviously, as I kind of hopefully progress further in the industry, I'll obviously have more stuff to add for my showreel, more kind of professional looking stuff. But other than that, I've got this kind of I've got this kind of few kind of professional clips. Would have been a lot better if I had sound, but that's it. So moving on to relevant kind of employment sites. So for me, to progress as an actor, obviously a really helpful employment website would be Spotlight Casting, which most kind of professionals, kind of starting and most professional actors will use this website for casting. You can get a lot of agents through this website, and it's quite a modern way of finding work yourself, really. And then I've also got Podcasting, which is actually a website that I was kind of told about whilst doing some extra work not long ago. Chloe was there as well, and we were speaking to a professional actor, not a big professional actor obviously, but a professional working actor, and he gave us a few links to some websites, and Podcasting was one that he said he started on because you can get a lot of extra work through it. And Podcasting in general, they offer a lot of services, like they can help you with different kind of professions such as directors, etc. as well. So evidence of online marketing. So I've got my Facebook page, which I use to put some of my work on. I've got my showreel on there. Occasionally, after doing a show, I'll put a picture of the show on there, which I just mainly use for obviously getting myself out there, and for anyone who kind of wants to follow and look, you know, they can. But really, it's not. I found kind of from having it, it's worked in favour for me in some ways, but in all honesty, I don't really use it much anymore because I found it hasn't really been as beneficial for me as other things. But that's why I also use kind of Instagram as well. So I use my Instagram to put like a lot of portfolio photos on, because my cousin, he does photography as a hobby a lot, and he will, you know, he always says to me, "Oh, do you want to kind of be a model for me?" And I said, yeah, I don't mind doing that. So I put a lot of kind of my photos up on there. I used to use a lot of hashtags last year, which kind of, which I don't do anymore because it just looks really cringy now. But I used to use a lot of hashtags to try kind of get more people to kind of look at my profile. But then also I've got an example of how I put, you know, a lot of my work, acting work, kind of on my Instagram as well. This is just a picture from look up there.
Oh no, I was just going to ask, so with like, obviously I know the hashtags were using like relevant ones to the work you were doing to like gain interest of people who liked the stuff that you were doing.
So I mean, for something like this, I would probably obviously use relevant hashtags.
I mean, did you find it like gained traction as well?
Yeah. I mean, I was definitely kind of a lot more people. I mean, to be honest, when I was doing it, I had a lot of those like model Instagram accounts emailing me, and it would say, "Oh, if you give us a certain amount of money, we'll put you on our Instagram page, which has loads of followers and stuff, and you'll be guaranteed to get about 1,000 likes and stuff like that." Which is obviously something that would be really beneficial for me, really, because it's, you know, it's getting me some attraction, but at the same time, obviously, I'm paying my own money out to do that. So, but it is an option that I can consider to do. But then also, like I was saying, I can use hashtags on things like this, with obviously relevant hashtags like, you know, theatre and stuff, and then, you know, that can get, you know, more people.
What is that from? Is that Blood Brothers?
Yeah, this is from Blood Brothers. This is, I can talk about it more later on in the presentation, but this is the time that I played Mickey, because we toured the show for a few years, so halfway through I swapped over and I got to play the other brother as well, so I started playing Eddie, and then I played Mickey for the kind of final run. So how social media is used to market professionals. For YouTube, these days it's become a lot easier for upcoming actors and upcoming performers to get their work out there for people to see. So for getting online, getting short films out online, that can be really good. Obviously, the short film that I was in, Bottle of Smoke, that was put on YouTube, and that since then, people still watch that now. Obviously, I did that last year, but that still kind of gets a lot of views on it, and people have kind of commented their opinions on it and stuff. But I just think in general that YouTube is a good way to really market yourself, and monologues as well. I've kind of used YouTube to put kind of my monologues on, which could also be kind of used for kind of getting feedback as well from other people. But really, a lot of professionals have kind of gained fame from having their YouTube channel, really, such as people like Dylan O'Brien and I think Justin Bieber started on YouTube.
Because that was like how Dylan O'Brien actually got like Teen Wolf. He hadn't done any acting before. He just gave him a link to his YouTube channel, and they were like, oh.
Yeah, it's quite easy because like Darcy just said, it's easy to walk into an audition now and be like, I have this on the internet for you to watch, and Dylan O'Brien got casted for a role just because of that, really. But then kind of a lot of kind of professionals will use Instagram and Twitter for self-promotion themselves, really, because they'll promote like upcoming projects a lot on there, and they can promote a lot of actors can use it for like charity funds as well, and that kind of like leads me on to talk about how it's kind of an easy way for them to connect to their audience as well, and they can have a lot of kind of their audience saying, kind of giving them feedback, or to kind of, it really just kind of works hand in hand, really, because people will share things on social media, and people, but it's just a modern way of kind of getting yourself out there, really, because years ago, you'd have to kind of go somewhere yourself physically to kind of apply for something, but it's just so much easier now to get yourself out there through social media platforms like this. But so how this kind of links into me, and how I want to kind of use them. So I like I was saying before, I've used kind of YouTube to put monologues up there, and I've used it to kind of put short films up on there, and I want to kind of use it in the future to kind of put more potential work on there and stuff, just because, like I was saying, YouTube is a massive way to get attraction these days, and it's I'm not saying that I would put all of my kind of hope into a social media platform like YouTube, because it's so hard these days to kind of get noticed on there, and to be honest, you get noticed for ridiculous things now on YouTube. Like, it's ridiculous the things that blow up now on social media.
Meme review.
Yeah, exactly. Like stuff like, so it's kind of reliable, but at the same time it's not, because I think personally some work on YouTube that's actually really good should earn more credit for what it is than other things, because YouTube's just kind of become kind of an entertainment for kind of children, really, because that's the stuff that blows up the most now. But as I was saying, I want to kind of continue to use Instagram to kind of promote myself by kind of putting more kind of photos up on there about kind of what I do and stuff, and hopefully kind of people can see that. And then I've also got for kind of applying, obviously I was saying how Spotlight, I want to kind of get myself on that over the next few years, and kind of get myself on more kind of different casting websites, and having kind of links to these other social media platforms can also help when applying for things, because I've kind of already got it all there for me to kind of give out. But so kind of relevant offline marketing. So I've got a personal statement to kind of hand out. It's quite chunky, so you don't have to read through it all yourself. I can kind of summarize it. But
thank you.
I'll actually choose it.
Okay.
So this is a personal statement that I submitted for drama schools and and universities before finally deciding I was going to do this course, really. But personal statement's quite good for when I want to obviously apply for things like drama school, if I want to kind of progress kind of more solely on the acting pathway. Personal statements is going to be really handy for me for, because it's, you know, it's a piece of paper talking about you, so but it's just kind of got that information about kind of me and how obviously it's a necessary kind of essential when applying for things, like especially through UCAS and stuff. But then obviously I use my kind of own experience as kind of marketing, obviously through being in Grand Royal Theatre Company. I'm kind of showcased on their website quite a lot because Blood Brothers was kind of the biggest kind of performance that Grand Royal has kind of done over the last few years, and it kind of gained a lot of attention. So Blood Brothers is kind of something that's faced massively on their website because it's something that kind of helped make their name almost, because they really only started off doing small kind of musical theatre review type things and all kind of song showcases, but now they kind of started to make kind of more of a name for themselves, and because Blood Brothers started to do really well the more kind of times we did it. So, and it was a really good experience in general to play both of the brothers as well, because I really, and like as an actor as well, it was really fun to play on, because when I kind of got casted as the other brother, I really wanted to make sure that if anyone was coming to see it again and who had seen me play the other brother previously, I didn't want them to kind of think, oh, that's the same guy who played the other one. Well, obviously I did want them to think that, but I wanted them to see the difference, obviously, which is why obviously I grew my hair out for the role of Mickey, whereas when I was playing, unfortunately I don't have a picture of me playing Eddie. Archie obviously played Eddie in this one, but I had a lot shorter hair when I was playing Eddie, kind of similar to Archie. But that's kind of what I kind of did to kind of help display the differences. And then also agents is kind of another way to, it's kind of offline and online marketing kind of when we think about it, because obviously agents are a lot more accessible online now, as I was saying, through like Spotlight and through like podcasting, but there's still kind of the kind of older ways that you can contact an agent now by kind of in kind of newspapers or kind of, but obviously an agent help you find work, and that's a lot handier than kind of finding work yourself, because it's a lot harder than it looks really. But obviously agents are a lot harder to, agents are getting harder and harder to kind of contact as well. So obviously, but going to drama school can really kind of help you get an agent, because they tend to, in the third year, it's always kind of showcase where an agent will come and see you, and you know, hopefully kind of get an agent through that and get traction through that. But is that all? Yeah. So that's representation. Thank you, everyone.
Should I finish that one?
Yeah.